Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto livestream. And today, I basically... Oh. Hope nothing broke right there. I heard some crazy noise. Today, I basically had this idea to get a juicy video out for you guys. Mostly regarding Ripple as, well, John Deaton, a very well-known lawyer in the community, let go of a couple of words that I wanted to share with everybody. I thought about making a video, but I thought, you know what? Why make a video when I'm also able to live stream it? And so then some people who want to join in right now can see it right now without having to wait another half an hour or so before I upload it. So again, today we have a couple of topics at hand. Let me quickly show them to you guys. John Deaton predicts shocking thing that might happen after summary judgment briefings. That's our first topic for today, so nobody can claim we are clickbaiting, all right? So all the little sissies out there, you kind of calm them down real quick. Then, actually, it's like a John Deaton-oriented type of episode. I have a couple of things about him that I want to share. You can see here 2 tweets specifically that I think are very interesting. Goes a little bit further, JXRP had a couple of interesting words to share about the SEC, and that whole debacle goes on a little bit further as well, as the SEC is going for some severe overreach, as you guys probably have already... Hopefully you guys couldn't hear that. As you guys have most likely already seen from my countless video over the last couple of months. And then there was a central question that I think was kind of interesting. Why doesn't Wall Street understand Bitcoin? Goldman Sachs veteran explains. And my simple answer to that question is, they understand. All right, this guy is saying, how boils the lack of understanding down to education because they don't fully understand money and whatnot. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of this has to do with the scare tactics from the SEC side as to why a lot of these big companies are not hopping in, which, again, can now be reflected upon in the sense that BlackRock is adopting it and they're going for it. These guys know they're just hesitant for some strange reason. It's also hard to be one of the first ones to do it. For example, Apple has most likely gotten a little balance sheet for themselves thinking, okay, what are our good reasons to get into crypto? What are the bad ones? The good one being, well, there's a good chance of us increasing in terms of money, right? Our portfolio increasing in terms of money. The bad side is, like what happened with Tesla. Bad quarter, specifically because Bitcoin is very volatile. And it can kind of draw it further, right? Maybe as of that exact point, when the decision was made, Bitcoin was at a higher point. For the next couple months, things go down. You're going to get a lot of hatred. Bad earnings numbers, all these things, yeah, these companies are afraid with that. And another one, as Apple said specifically, people are not investing into Apple to invest into Bitcoin, right? They don't really care. If any one of these guys at Apple wants to hold Bitcoin, they'll do it themselves. But yeah, those were my thoughts. Just to quickly share them, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's first cover this, because I think it's the most interesting. And by the way, guys, if you're watching this right now, the stream, make sure you press that like button. Again, I wanted to record the video all the way, but I thought let's stream it because I thought that would be more fun. Make sure you press the like button if you appreciate it, and just say hi or something like that in the chat box. Just say like good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It is almost 3 a.m. I believe, for me at least. Not sure what time it is for you guys, but I thought, you know, it's got to be like 4 p.m. somewhere, I guess. Yeah, time to record something, you know, time to do a little live stream. All right, Ripple lawsuit. John Deaton predicts shocking thing that might happen after summary judgment briefings. I've read through, no, Ripple XRP did not win. Unfortunately, that has not happened just quite yet. See it as a fortunate thing. This way you are able to accumulate more crypto. That's the way that I see it. John Deaton, crypto law founder. And I'm, by the way, going to send him another message tomorrow. Ask him to hop on another interview. Would you guys like that? Another interview with John Deaton. Gonna try to get a couple people on. Jeremy Hogan, I want to get on for sure again. John Deaton, I'm gonna try. And I think people like David Schwartz, I have a very slim chance of getting that done. But I'm going to try at least. You know, I'm going to send, I think, like 30 emails tomorrow. Just get all the people that I really want to have on the channel for you guys to listen to. And we'll see who responds. You know, Vice Vind, a lot of you guys wanted it. So I'm going to try to get that done as well. All right. So John Deaton is making a bold prediction as to what might happen after the summary judgment briefings are made public. He stated, when the summary judgment motions are public, we will see evidence we are currently unaware of, including testimony from Ripple CEO Brett Garlinghouse, co-founder Chris Larsen, CTO David Schwartz, and former Ripple employees. It includes testimony from Hinman and other SEC officials like Amy Starr and Valerie S. He also added, I predict, and this is a quote, we'll also see why it was so important that XRP holders will be heard. This is actually a really funny quote because as you guys probably understand by now, hopefully you guys are aware of the situation, but John Deaton is trying to enter into the Ripple lawsuit. He tried to be a friend of the court. He basically got that role of being able to help out. The SEC, however, wanted to bar him from that position, and Ripple was, of course, defending John, saying no, they need to be heard, basically. But we'll get some more insights, I guess, about why it's so important for XP holders to be in. This can be seen from a couple of different sides. The most important reason we think XP holders need to be heard is because it's a direct attack from, again, the crazy SEC onto you and I as XP holders. So in John's own words, when the summary judgment motions are public, let's actually see, here we go. When the summary judgment motions are public, we will see evidence we are currently unaware of, including testimonies. I predict we will also see why it's so important XP holders be heard. Will the SEC specifically argue XRP, the token itself, is the embodiment of all the promises and efforts made by Ripple starting in 2012 and continuing today, and therefore all XRP as securities? That's the question at hand, obviously. And as of this point, it's actually pretty difficult to say what exactly they're trying to go for. There's a couple different things in this lawsuit that the SEC has been kind of vague on, and I think they're doing this deliberately. One of the things they're always vague on is where exactly lies the problem. Is XRP the security? Is it Ripple's sale of XRP that's bad? Are XRP holders like you and I at fault? Are we, by selling it onto the secondary market, still doing a bad thing? And Weezy, for example, it goes on like that. The SEC's been vague on a lot of different things. For example, why don't you just give out a full list of exactly what constitutes as a crypto and what constitutes as a security, or I should say a proper digital asset and a digital asset security, but right. Weezy said, maybe if they see Vitalik himself say it back in 2013, they'll listen. Vitalik of Ethereum said, you guys can't see it properly, but it's all right. Altogether, what Ripple has accomplished is impressive. With Ripple, we have a way of sending, receiving, and holding any currency, not just one specific currency, in a decentralized way. And it's also interesting to kind of see how Vitalik has switched up on Ripple, right? He wanted to be an intern a couple years ago, and then this year he just switched up. Oh no, actually 2 years ago, in December of 2020, he switched up and was like, you know what? Screw this whole Ripple XRP stuff. Maybe because he didn't get the job he wanted, he's like, you know what? If I can't get it, I hope nobody gets it. That envy, maybe it could be, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. And John says, can you give me the source? Is the Bitcoin Magazine article? Ooh, that could actually be juicy. Maybe, interesting. Maybe this is going to be used in the lawsuit as well to some degree, right? That's pretty interesting. Cool that we're watching that. Yeah, but let's move on a little bit. So in this document here, it's also stated, according to the recent updated schedule shared by James Fillon, which, by the way, I recommend you all to update yourselves with as well. There's a lot of things happening in the Ripple XRP SEC lawsuit every single week. The only problem is it's kind of hard to keep up, right? And for example, a lot of these dates right now, if you're reading this, are already in the past. What's happening in the short term, by the way, if you're wondering? Let me quickly go over it again. I've not checked this out in the last couple of days. So any replies to the oppositions must be filed by August 30th. Then the matter will be fully briefed and must be decided by District Judge Torres. This is regarding the motions to exclude expert testimony. So to get that expert out of the way, we have that document still coming if it's not been delivered. I don't quite remember though, but that's about a week left. The deliberative process privilege and attorney-client privilege battle over the Hinman documents. I don't see any date here anymore that's in the future. It's all in the past. This is a DPP appeal or petition to the Second Circuit. This basically has to happen or not happen. We just have not gotten a decision yet, and that's basically what they are saying. Motions for summary judgment obviously will take a couple more months, and this is what we were just talking about right now. Once these motions for summary judgment come out, we'll get a lot of new insights into exactly what's going on in the background, which right now is being hidden from us as casual observers. So if you're wondering what the timeline on that will be, motions for summary judgment and Rule 56.1 statements of undisputed facts must be filed by September 13th. So it's actually interesting to me, right? At first I thought, oh, September 13th, that's like half a year away. But it's less than a month. It's like 3 weeks from now we're going to get this. In my own head, it was like, oh, wow, it's another September. It's all the way in September, but it's almost here. It's like around the corner, literally. It's like 3 weeks. Oppositions to the motions for summary judgment and the responses must be filed by October 18th. And replies to those must be filed by November 15th, and then it will be fully briefed. Yeah, and then we potentially have replies as well, right? But at the end of the day, let's just say September 13th, these things are going to start. And I'm not 1,000% sure whether or not he's talking about the final update of summary judgment or the moment that it basically gets filed, right? Because that's what I'm reading right here. If the motions for summary judgment get filed, So maybe he's talking, however, about this when the decisions are being made, but it doesn't seem logical. So this is what happens afterwards, by the way. July into mid-August will be a very busy time, which is right now still, while we continue to make progress in some areas. Others are taking longer than expected. And that said, I'm sticking to my prediction that the judge will decide both expert motions, which we discussed in here, and the summary judgment motions at the same time on or before March 31st, which I still think has to do with that rule of not wanting as many cases in one specific quarter or one specific half of the year. Because that list of what pending or open cases a judge has gets posted every 6 months or so. I read that. A lawyer posted that a little while ago. I'm not sure if that's actually accurate. I have no prediction on when the Hinman email dispute will be fully and finally resolved. Well, I guess we're close to an end right now. We're getting closer and closer to that specific end. But regarding the Hinman emails, the SEC's motion for partial reconsideration was denied. Partial reconsideration of the emails was basically the SEC saying, hey, we don't think Hinman emails should be given over to the SEC. Please rethink at least part of it. And the judge was like, nope. And the motion for clarification was, however, granted, which is, I would say, fine, a good thing. Magistrate Judge Nedburn ruled that the Hinman documents were not protected by DPP, but then permitted the SEC to identify any of those documents that the SEC claimed were protected by the attorney-client privilege. And that's a good thing, because otherwise they try to go for it afterwards anyway. So whatever type of defense they use right now, it's logical. They use it all the time, and they probably use it at some point in the future. The judge most likely is going through the most meticulous type of filtering here to make sure that the SEC cannot appeal this decision afterwards, as I personally think if I were the judge right here, I'd be pretty darn fed up with the SEC claiming, for example, different things on one specific matter. It's just unprofessional. The SEC, specifically because the lawyers that they have right there are not some cheap-ass lawyers, right? It's not as if these guys are just fresh out of school. These guys know what they're doing. So if they're doing it like that, either they're just desperate or ridiculously disrespectful. The SEC filed a motion claiming that all the documents were protected by the attorney-client privilege, which the judge, of course, denied. And the SEC's opposition to the judge's ruling is due July 26th. We already got that. And yeah, we had this whole debacle. So what we're waiting for right now is the next big step. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for me that is coming up is this motion for summary judgment, September 13th, that we just kind of read about here. And yeah, is there anything else in this little part? I actually read up to here and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me share it with you guys. And then there's another part here at the bottom. Let's quickly check it out here. Let me just quickly check out what you guys are saying. How's it going, Dusty? I like the live chats, bro. Thanks for doing these. Thank you very much for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it a ton. Holland 2:30 night. Yes, 7:30 Memphis, Tennessee. I guess whenever I'm doing this, it's like a US stream. Whenever I'm streaming at the middle of the night, we have Dubai in there, 4:30 a.m. You are some different type of breed, my friend. We have is there somebody in Australia or something like that, like on the right side of the world right now? Haven't seen anybody in the chat just quite yet. Where you guys are watching from, anyway? Like everybody, just put it down there real quick. I've seen Arizona, I've seen Dubai, I've seen somebody say just Sunday, Los Angeles. Where's Gary? We'll talk about Gary in just a second. Let's quickly read this and then we move on. Meanwhile, in updates shared by James Fillon over the weekend, the SEC has filed a letter requesting to seal portions of the party's oppositions to the exclusion motions that contain information identifying the SEC's expert witnesses and the personal financial information of one of the SEC's experts, which I don't think is strange. I don't think is crazy at all. I don't mind that. Also, Ripple and its defendants are requesting to make narrowly tailored redactions to a limited number of exhibits to the briefs filed by parties in opposition to the motions to exclude expert testimony. According to the document attached, Ripple seeks to seal the identities of non-parties, which again is not that crazy, and XRP-friendly Jeremy Hogan's picked up on some clues on the identity of the digital asset participants, remarked, quote, "Could digital asset market participants be referring to actual XRP retail purchasers?" End quote. Crossing fingers, as that would again come back to John Deaton's point of who exactly is being I guess, involved here? Is it just purely Ripple's mistakes, or is it every single XP holder ever? And that's the debate which we are figuring out now, I guess, and we'll get an answer to quite shortly. At least I hope so. Howbeit, optimism remains in place ahead of summary judgment briefing expected next month. Yeah, I'm already pretty excited, I guess, that this is coming up within a couple of weeks now. You know, we're just 3 weeks away. Before, it used to always be, oh no, it's going to be half a year. It's a couple of weeks away, guys. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I think that's one of the most exciting things we've seen in the lawsuit in a very good while. John Deaton is doing a little bit more, though, guys. He's not sitting still. Tomorrow, his rebuttal to Gary Gensler's op-ed will be published by Fox. He will address how Gensler is using the lack of regulatory clarity, coupled with congressional inaction and lack of SEC oversight, to unlawfully expand the Howey test beyond recognition. And that's a response to, let's see here, Corey Clipston. Okay, he's a really big Bitcoin guy, huh? Okay, there's a Bitcoin event. Opinion, the SEC treats crypto like the rest of the capital markets. Security laws that protect investors continue to apply even when new technologies come along. Huh. And CZ Fanboy, as a satirical account, says, exchange Rico dropping soon on all these exchanges? Huh. Peculiar. Interesting. So, I have, I think, two things to say about this, just reading it like this real quick. This guy seems to be a fan of Gary Gensler's work. From only one direction would I agree with them, and that is, for example, things like Celsius. Those things need to be investigated properly, right? If we're talking about exchanges, but most specifically lending platforms and things of the sort, even stablecoins, I think they deserve some very strict regulation, and I don't think anybody should be able to be just coming onto the market and messing everything up, right? However, if we're talking about digital assets, actually, stablecoins, it just depends on what type of seal of approval. Because at the end of the day, I think they should just be one-to-one backed. And as long as that's the case, I don't think they have to intervene even more. But then again, the Securities and Exchange Commission, I'm not so sure exactly from the securities or even exchange perspective where they are involved with all of that. Doesn't really sound logical to me why the SEC would be involved. But yeah, John Deaton is just firing back right now because this guy is so, I guess, big a fanboy of Gary Gensler, unless I'm reading it wrong. But as far as I understand right here, or is he trying to... Wait a minute. Actually, we can't see his opinion too much. Wait a minute, guys. Maybe I'm overfetching, or I guess fetching the wrong idea of what he's saying. He's just given some key passages from Gary Gensler's op-ed. I thought he actually had a response to Gary Gensler's opinion in his own opinion, no piece. But it is just him quoting a couple of different things. I'm not sure if he's positive or negative, but John Deaton is basically getting his opinion out there, which I think is useful because John Deaton is a freaking legend. All right, JXRP said something interesting. I would be interested to know how the SEC lawyers or the SEC would be punished if they do not produce the emails. In order of the judge, is there a admonition or a fine? Could the lawyers losing their license? That spelling gave me a headache, or it's like the best spelling, but I'm just dumb in the brain. Fair enough. But Jeremy Hogan had a response to that saying, refusal to comply would or could eventually lead to dismissal of the case. It could also be a license problem, but only if the attorneys themselves withheld the documents, and that wouldn't be the case. So, yeah, that could be pretty bad, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. At the end of the day, guys, he's saying it would be punished if they do not produce the emails. I think they're going to, but then if really, right, this is a question that's pretty popular, I think. People are asking all the time. So if the SEC is ordered to do something, what if they don't do it? And the answer is, like Jeremy Hogan says, well, if they don't do it, then the case gets thrown out eventually. Just logical. It's very logical. Unless, again, as he describes as well, if a lawyer is thinking, no, I'm not going to give it out, I'm going to keep it here. But none of these lawyers care enough to do that, right? They don't want to take that responsibility of losing their license and losing all their money. So then the only explanation is they're most likely going to produce something if it's ordered, but they'll try to circumvent it as much as possible. So they'll most likely produce less than they have to, or just keep claiming in that it's actually privileged and that this is like a big scandal, it's not allowed, yada, 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 which is just going to keep stalling it while they delete all the evidence. No, that was a joke. I don't know about that, obviously. But they'll have to eventually. There's no way around it. albeit ridiculously bad for them. There's almost no other option. I don't think they're going to wager them losing the case or it getting thrown out because they're not going to produce something. They're just going to try, as we're seeing right now, to not produce those emails. In my opinion, this is just standard lawsuit practice. However, it's kind of dumb if you think about it, right? As the SEC, I think a lot more stuff the SEC does should be in the public domain. Should be able to be gotten. With those FOIA requests like we saw, right? With the Freedom of Information Acts from Empower Oversight, I think a lot more should be included in all that. If you think about it, they're doing this for your own best interest. Shouldn't the majority of what they think and do just be open and out there for the public? If there's an internal discussion about policy, shouldn't we have the rights to hear that? If it's relevant, right? In, for example, making a determination whether or not something is good or bad, I think we should have that discussion. I'm not always for the fact that we need to hear every single detail and every thought process for everything. For example, if we look at a president of the U.S., I personally don't think we need to hear every single thing that's being discussed in the White House before it comes out. But a lot of these things in terms of policy that you and I literally have to look at every single day, that they're discussing openly within themselves. I don't know why they're not giving that out. Unknown says, with the $2 coming in, saying, Dusty, thanks for all that you do. In all due respect. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for the respects. I respect that. I appreciate that. Dang, I've made 2 live streams in a row. What's up, Doug? Yeah, that's good. That's good. We're doing a lot of live streams right now. So, yeah, as I said before, I'm going to try to do a live stream every single day. At least 1, maybe 2. Who knows, right? Maybe we're getting crazy up in here. And by the way, guys, there's actually, there's something that I'll share in a couple of minutes. Let me actually tell you, if you're not pressing that like button just quite yet, now's your chance to do so. All right? We've gotten 75 likes, but we've had over 600 people stop by. That's actually a pretty good number if you ask me. All right? Then again, we can easily pump that to like 110 or so. If everybody just presses that button, these live streams do a little bit better, and I can sleep better in like, a couple of minutes here. When I go to bed eventually, I'll be able to sleep so much better if you guys press that like button. Finally, I can get some recognition at home, That'll be good. I can finally show back up to my children. By the way, if you're wondering, this sound plays so freaking loud, but I've muted it for you guys. Every single time, this scares the crap out of me. Because, whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, so Gary Gensler's gross SEC overreach. Take a look. The targeting of cryptocurrency reveals Gensler's intentions to expand the power of the SEC. This is funny, huh? Whenever I read this, I always get a little laugh internally. Sometimes I don't display that laugh, but just know, every single time I read a title like this, I laugh a little bit. And I just rejoice in the fact that all these other crypto holders, like I said in my earlier stream, that are not in the XP community, all these other guys are just thinking, you know what? This is fine. Let the SEC do their thing. We'll just act once it's too late. Aren't you guys noticing that? Literally, think about this. How many communities? Bitcoin ain't doing nothing. Ethereum ain't doing nothing. What crypto communities are coming out there and saying, you know what? SEC, you're going too far with this one. You're going too far. The whole Ripple thing that you're doing right there, no, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see the SEC side win because every crypto would kind of be screwed from there on forward. This is a really bad thing. The majority of these guys are like, ow, ooh, I can't see it. Ooh, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't affect me. Ooh, I'm not an XP holder. Let me just act as if I don't see it. That's literally what's happening to these guys. It's kind of funny to me. I don't understand exactly why, but I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that you just don't want to support something that you don't hold or like, maybe. Because even if you think Ripple is not the best of cryptos, which, sure, everybody has their own opinion, I don't understand why you wouldn't support their side in this lawsuit with the SEC. You can't say XRP is a security. And even if you want to claim that it was a security in the past, which, again, do you. Ethereum was a security in the past as well. You can't claim that XRP as of this point is still a security. It's almost impossible to claim that. And if you really do claim that, then again, we have to look at what rules were used for this. What exact fundamentals did they use to come up to this determination? And that's one of the most difficult points here as well. So difficult. So difficult to understand, but it is what it is. So apparently, the Supreme Court may have recently struck down overreach by the Environmental Protection Agency. But, fix this out. At the SEC, Chairman Gary Gensler remains undeterred in expanding the agency's power beyond its constitutional boundaries. This is in Fox again. Now, for proof, You need no better example than his all-out assault on the cryptocurrency space. It doesn't take a constitutional law expert to understand that the SEC has limited jurisdiction over the crypto industry. Barring congressional action, frontline regulation of digital asset belongs with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, the main regulator of investments that are not deemed traditional securities. Yet, Gary Gensler, President Biden's pick to run an agency intended to focus on stock scammers, ripping off the unsuspecting, that's good, has divided headfirst into crypto like Elliot Ness, going after Al Capone. Okay, if successful, almost 80 years of U.S. security laws will be appended within Gensler's first 2 years as chair. Now, you guys can understand exactly why this is so important, right? We have some laws that are extremely outdated, but I also agree with the way the Fox describes this. The SEC's strange policy right now is to just grab as much power as possible. I showed it to you guys earlier. I think in our previous stream I showed it to you guys. There's this whole part of the SEC's strange approach to get as many small lawsuits in as many different corners going on, where they go after some potentially proof of work type of crypto, they go after some capped cryptocurrencies, they go after some uncapped cryptocurrencies, but let the big ones like Bitcoin and Ether slide. And I guess even in Canada, things are getting crazy where they're letting Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin slide right now. But I just wonder if Gary Gensler is like a career politician or career lawyer, I guess, where literally all he wants is just to have the biggest build. Oh, I'm Borat. Look at me. I have good build. Or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what he wants. Does he want to just have on his shirt like a little text that says, I'm the best around or something? What can he get? Is he going to make more money when all these things are securities? Or is it just the credits that he took down the cryptocurrency empire? Something that he might not believe in, which is a lie. He believes in this space as well. He's talked about it over on different universities. This guy knows crypto, by the way. It's not as if he's oblivious to everything. He knows. He's just literally just acting disproportionately aggressive towards crypto, which nobody seems to understand because he knows very well. Again, let's make a distinction. SEC going after pyramid scheme, charging 11 people for $300 million fraud. Good, I support that. That might be their job, depending. SEC going after traditional cryptocurrencies that are just not securities at all, which should be under the CFTC. Not good. Now, the CFTC put up, I think a couple weeks ago, that they're also looking into going for crypto. But we'll have to see exactly how that pulls through. I don't want to read the full article here, guys, as it goes into a lot of repetition, what we already described to you guys. But let's just say that this is so freaking strange. And people are starting to notice it all around the world as well. All right, the fact that Gary Gensler is not doing a really good job, that's starting to kind of have some ripple effects. The only thing that's not having the ripple effect, I think, is the fact that people should support the Ripple lawsuit more if they want crypto to survive. Specifically because Gary Gensler is coming for every single thing. We've seen that with Dragon Chain just now. We've seen that with the fact that they're going after a insider trading case, right, with Coinbase. And then saying, oh, you know what? 9 of these cryptos which he insider traded, they're also securities. So we're going after everything in one fell swoop. That's just dirty play. That's foul. But he's doing it nonetheless. And nobody's stopping him. He basically has the biggest set of cojones because he can't. Ain't nobody stopping him. Who's going to stop this man? Maybe John Deaton. Maybe us as the crypto community, I guess. So then a question popped up in my mind. Gary Gensler knows crypto. He knows it very well. This man, don't get it twisted. This guy knows his stuff. He's not your average Joe. All right? He's doing this on purpose. Most likely for power. My opinion, not fact. My opinion. All right? So why doesn't Wall Street, or why don't these lawyers, or why don't people understand Bitcoin? Some people say, well, it has to do with the economics of it. He says here, to the extent that those working in traditional finance have any opinions about the history or fundamentals of money, it's almost entirely shaped by Keynesian economics, he said, and perhaps by MMT in more recent years. Modern monetary theory, both advocate and Keynesian economic theory, both advocate for centralized control of a nation's money supply to manage the economy, which I'm not against whatsoever, by the way. In a lot of different systems, a central authority having control of a money supply is surely fine. We talked about this before. If you guys remember, we did one live stream, I think, It's a little while ago. We went over micro and macroeconomics, where I tried to explain a little bit about why I think both systems can work fine, why I think XRP is so good in almost any system that you can think of. But let's just quickly conclude here. I'm not saying necessarily this is wrong. I'm just trying to say here, whenever you're asking the question, why doesn't Wall Street understand Bitcoin? It's because they do understand it. It's a lie. All right. You can't say that if you go to Wall Street right now, the majority of these guys will say, no, Bitcoin is garbage. Right. There's a couple different scenarios. One, they make more money on it not getting the main adoption. Two, they're buying it right now but not telling you, which is most likely what's happening. Three is they're waiting for the regulatory approval, so they just can't buy it just quite yet. There's no fourth option. It's not, oh, but they don't understand. Of course these guys understand. You think people on Wall Street are not in the business of making money? You think they really are like, oh, you know what, this Bitcoin thing? Nah, that free money, that ain't it for me. Most likely these guys have their freaking pockets full. They're walking to their little Wall Street offices with this amount of Bitcoin in their bras. You know, I don't know, whatever they're doing. But most likely they ain't. I always like to say they ain't oblivious to these things. You know, they're not looking at this thinking, nah, free money? Technology that's doing this exceedingly well that allows me to get financial power back? Sounds ridiculous. Give it to the next guy, weirdo. No. Maybe 75-year-olds, 90-year-olds that are like, okay, you know what? Central bank money can never be beaten, all right? I've studied economic theory for 95 years. I know what I'm saying. Maybe that guy's not going to be in it. But there's a lot of 45, 50-year-old people that are surely looking into this. Don't be fooled, my friend. These guys know crypto very well. Same thing goes for Gensler. These guys know. All right, before I move on, I have to make one little shout out. Hopefully to give you guys a good opportunity for tomorrow. So, I have had a discussion with my friends. When exactly was that discussion? It's a good question. Let me pop up two things, though. I'm going to put it up on the side, so give me just 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find it. All right? I am going to find it. Don't you worry about this. Okay. Here we go. So. Just trying to find something, and I thought I found it, but I did not. But let me just... I wanted to have something before I went on. No, I cannot find it. Okay, this is annoying. Sorry, guys. I was trying to find something and show it to you guys at the same time, but I cannot find it as of this point, so I'm going to have to, I guess, not showcase it that way. Give me one time to click.
Hey, guys. What is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome
Okay,
back
this is
to
awkward.
another episode.
This is incredibly awkward. Sorry for that, my friends. All right, it's okay. All right, I got it. No worry. Okay, so there's something happening tomorrow. And I want you guys to at least be aware that I've shown this to you guys. All right? So what you're going to do with this information, you do as you please. But just let me tell you guys, I'm going to be pretty in the, maybe heavens tomorrow, or at least in some strange place watching this. So, as you guys probably know, I got myself into Satoshi Island. If you don't know what it is, it's this island over in Vanuatu. You can read it up for yourself. I covered it in depth in a video like a week ago or so. Now, they're going to launch on OKX, Huobi, and BitGet tomorrow. And I'm not saying buy this. I'm never going to say just buy something like this at the start. It would be kind of dumb for me to say that, because at the end of the day, you have to make your own choices. What I am saying is I'm buying it tomorrow, right? I actually told you guys to buy the earlier rounds in my last video. Today I'm announcing it's launching tomorrow. So for anybody that listened to me, did their research, and bought these things, let's see tomorrow, because I think it's going to be a banger. To anybody that was like, let's not look up what this genius told me to look up. Genius is a joke, by the way, all right? Don't take it too harshly. But if you didn't look up what I said to you to look up, no problem at all. But you'll have to see tomorrow exactly how this performs, all right? Now, there's one thing, though, that you got to understand. Whenever these things launch, there's only one opportunity, and that is to have either a market order at the start of the start or a limit order. If you put up a market order minutes after a project like this is launched, you are almost guaranteed to lose money. Be careful with that. Be very careful with that. If you're trying to buy these things, and this is why I had the discussion with my friend, might have been already over a week ago actually, but I just remembered it now. He told me, let me think of what friend it was that told me this. Can't remember exactly which friend it was, but he told me that he's buying these launches almost exclusively for the reason of making quick money. How does that work? Well, let me show you guys real quick. Let's see if we can find a little OKX announcement. Let me just quickly try to look it up. Again, guys, I'm just showing this for your own benefit. Trust me in this regard. Please don't do anything because I'm telling you to, except for looking these things up. I have a pretty good track record of nailing these launches. So whenever I say it's going to most likely launch like a banger, 9 out of 10 times, no more than that. I would say 99 out of 100 times it really does. The only problem is with when exactly you have to buy in or when exactly you're going to do this, that. Sometimes that gets kind of difficult. So, yeah, I'm being a little bit cautious with saying that. I notice some people don't fully understand how these launches work, and I've described it to you guys a dozen times. But with these things, it can sometimes get risky if you're doing them wrong. So, let me just quickly grab the last link, and then I will explain. All right? So, let me quickly do these two things. Let me put this here. There we go. There we go as well. All right. I think I got it. So, oh, we got Max the Corgi in the chat again. What's up, my dog? Literally. It's kind of weird, but still, hey. You do you, my friend. If that's you, role-playing. Maybe you're not even role-playing. Maybe we actually have an actual dog in the chat. Respect to you, I guess, man, for being able to type, my friend. All right. Let's give this update. So, there is a launch happening tomorrow. It is the launch for Satoshi Island's STC token. I made a video about it about a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago by now, explaining that you are able to buy this token before it launches. Whenever I make videos like that, watch them carefully because usually they are great opportunities. This is working together with Tencent Launchpad. They're arranging for everything, so crazy marketing campaign. And it's the opportunity to basically get land on an island. You can also buy the NFTs and whatnot for it. They already have the island. A lot of things are already set in pretty good stone, in my own opinion. But it's launching tomorrow at the exact time of, I think, 8 a.m. It says right here, all pending orders from ITC tokens is ITC. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. So deposit will start 5 a.m. if you actually bought the tokens early. If you did not, no worries. Trading will start at 8 a.m. and the withdrawals will open at 10 a.m. Now, what I recommend you guys to do is to go to, I put a link down there, a link to OKX. Check it out. In the description, I put a link to OKX, and I put one in the comment section right now. And check this coin out at 8 a.m. UTC if you have the chance. I understand that it's actually already in like 7 hours from now, so you're not going to have that much sleep. I'm going to be here at like maybe 7 a.m. or so. Because let's say tomorrow this coin launches, the probability of this being at least 50 times the price within a couple of minutes after launching is astronomically high. All right, I'm honestly expecting it to be at least 50 times the price tomorrow. Now, the only problem is, can you buy it right now? No, you're too late. All right, they had a couple of rounds over on Twitter. I described this all in my video to you guys. I described every single thing. What I can only tell you now, and I actually retweeted it as well for all the people that only follow me on Twitter. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. UTC is going to be happening. 10 a.m. Dutch time, I believe. Just check it out. All I'm saying. And then for the next time, just listen whenever I'm telling you guys that these things are going to launch. Try to find a way to buy it, even though it's only $100. You know, even if you can only buy $60, even if you can only buy $300, you're able to buy it if you buy a couple $100. Usually that's pretty cool if that's a 50x or 100x. I will take things always critically, right? So if you have any criticism, just put it out there. You sound like the guy who does Wendy's commercials. Okay, I've never seen a Wendy's commercial.